Antonio out at this huge Thursday night NFC East showdown. Sal, what have the Commanders done to right the ship this week after their loss to the Steelers?
Hey there, Laura. Yes, a showdown, as we like to call it, the rumble in the concrete jungle here at the confluence of the Schuylkill Expressway and I-95. Washington Commanders, Philadelphia Eagles, NFC East, and coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers last Sunday, 4 days ago in Landover, Maryland, the one thing that the Washington Commanders must work on this week and did work on this week is getting Jayden Daniels a little bit more comfortable so he can escape the pocket when he wants to. Had no scrambling yards against the Steelers, only completed 50% of his passes, but the Commanders had 4 drops, the most they've had in any week this season. They also have to clean up on the back end. The secondary way too leaky, and this Eagles team can throw the football. Jalen Hurts has been the driving force with this 5-game win streak on offense for the Philadelphia Eagles, completing 72% of his passes. And the key is, when he makes mistakes in the first half, figuring it out in the second half and getting better, particularly last week against the Dallas Cowboys. Throwing touchdown passes, very few interceptions during this 5-game win streak. And on defense, Zach Bond, the linebacker that they brought in this year, the best linebacker, according to Pro Football Focus, in the last 3 weeks, highest graded linebacker in the National Football League. They're winning at all 3 levels on defense, secondary, and of course, Jalen Carter, who knows Jayden Daniels so well from their college days. Jalen Carter in Georgia, famous sack of Jayden Daniels when he was at LSU. And that's the key, right? Rush Jayden Daniels up the middle, pinch with the tackles on the outside, cut off his rush lanes, keep him in the pocket, which is what the Steelers did last week. It'll be up to the Eagles defense to try to replicate that, but the Commanders will be ready. This is a very good Commanders offense.
Absolutely, Sal. I think you put that play in there from LSU just for the LSU guys on the show. It's not maybe their favorite memory, but we appreciate you joining us here on NFL Live. Let's zero in a little bit more on Jayden Daniels. Through 5 career road games, Daniels has looked quite comfortable away from home. He's posted both the highest QBR and completion percentage of any quarterback on the road this season. In fact, Daniels' 77% completion percentage, the highest by a player in his first 5 career road games all time. Mina, what do you want to see from the Eagles secondary tonight against him?
Aggression, which is something we have seen more of as this year has gone along, and their defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, has gotten more confident in the young secondary. He's been turning up the dial on man coverage, and he's been rewarded for it. I mean, they're playing fantastic. Quinion Mitchell, oh my goodness, I cannot say enough about his play on the outside. As the nearest defender, according to NGS, he has not allowed more than 25 yards in a single game this year. And then Cooper DeJean in the slot has been fantastic at tackling, but also his coverage in the slot has really impressed me. This honestly looks like a franchise-altering draft class for this Philadelphia Eagles defense. And the man coverage matters because watching the Commanders last week against Pittsburgh, they really struggled with their physicality. In fact, against man coverage, Jayden Daniels went 10 for 23 for 105 yards. Look, Terry is going to make plays, no doubt, but I think it's worth it for this Philadelphia defense to play as aggressively as they have as of late.
I think we've seen things change since after the bye week, Cooper DeJean being inserted into the starting lineup as the nickel. He had the huge play on 4th and 1 against Jamar Chase. We also saw something very similar on a 4th down with Evan Ingram and the Jacksonville Jaguars. His ability to play man coverage, but also his understanding of zone coverage has allowed Vic Fangio some flexibility on the back end. And I believe adding Nakobe Dean to the pressure packages has also unlocked some of what they are on the inside pass rush with guys like Jalen Carter. I think this has been an evolution of Vic Fangio understanding what each of the pieces he has on defense can do, and some of these young guys stepping up and playing to their potential.
Yeah, I like to thank Sal Powell for leading me into what I wanted to talk about, but it's got to be a mature rush. When you think about what Pittsburgh was able to do with keeping Jayden that part of the game and making them one-dimensional without his legs being a real factor, it was how smart they were. Cam Hayward had the game that he needed to have from the interior because T.J. Watt and Ali Smith were smart rushers. the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line can change this game. They can actually win this game. We've seen the Washington Commanders struggle when Jayden Daniels doesn't have that explosive nature with his legs getting outside of the pocket and being able to push the ball downfield. I told Dan and RCN Mina this last week. I thought this was Jayden Daniels, one of his best games because he was limited and they were still able to manufacture and create yards. But this is the way forward for defenses, is not allowing him to break their backs on third down situations with their defensive line with mature and smart rushes.
Yeah, I think